Hi, this is Regina Y. Favors with Pre-Singles Counseling. This is part of my Pre-Singles Counseling coaching curriculum where I design lessons and case studies based in the psychology literature on different topics. This Pre-Singles Counseling is targeted to three types of individuals. The first individual is a person who is interested in becoming single. That means that person is not necessarily interested in dating or entering the marriage market. The second individual is a single individual who is interested in entering the dating market. And then the last individual is a single dating individual who is interested in marriage. So take some time to listen to this lesson and or case study. Please leave a comment and I will reply. In addition, please consider subscribing to the channel. Hit the notification bell if you are interested in further topics. This is Pre-Singles Counseling, a Pre-Singles Counseling coaching curriculum. Thank you for visiting the channel. This lesson is subject to fair use, where I will comment, criticize, offer research, as well as teach and provide scholarship. Single women should be knowledgeable about what it means to be single and how to navigate their singleness regardless of a decision to date or marry. This means that single women should take the necessary time to learn about their singleness, set academic, professional, and personal goals, and contemplate whether they are ready to enter the dating market. Single women should never enter the dating market without a goal and a plan. Therefore, one of the most important aspects of being a single woman is that you can plan your transition, establish a time schedule, set mating preferences, and learn about how men and women date. Pre-singles counseling is based in a decision to enter or exit singleness. Pre-singles is the time period between single and contemplation of dating. There is a difference between being a single individual and being a single individual who has entered the dating market, which includes the sex market. Pre-singles counseling reflects the processes by which an individual researches, learns, and plans to navigate life either as a single, a dating single, or a single interested in marriage. So pre-singles counseling is defined as the research processes and planning for entering a state of singlehood. The main target audience is 18 to 45 years of age, man and woman. However, middle school to high school students are considered. Processes include single to single. So that is that transitional time prior to entering the dating market at any age. Single to dating single, that transitional time prior to considering marriage. And then single dating to marriage, that transitional time prior to and after premarital counseling. Pre-singles counseling is the immediate strategy of adopting life plans to manage the self as a responsible individual adult up to and including a major life change. So here are some pre-lecture discussion questions. So are you single? This question means single without separation or dating rotation or on again, off again, boyfriend, or any other romantic relationship, including rebounding and dating. Why are you single? Are you enduring a recent separation from a romantic partner? Do you plan to remain single? What are your plans to change from single to a member of a romantic couple or marriage? Do you have a financial plan as a single woman? And you will see throughout this lecture, this orientation course, that I focus most, if not all, of the topics on having a financial plan. We oftentimes make unsound decisions based upon the fact that we don't have enough money, or we are looking for money, or we are looking for someone to cover us and we are not covering ourselves financially. So keep that in mind. You will see throughout this orientation multiple references to financial planning. Pre-discussion. So what is your SWOT? So I'm using SWOT that you would normally see in business as a way to get you to engage your own personal SWOT. So what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are your opportunities? What are your threats? So after each section, I will ask you what your SWOT is. Dating with purpose plan, so determining objectives. So here are some questions. Do you believe in dating? How long do you plan to date if you decide to marry? Do you believe in having sex while dating? Are you aware of the new trend of dating rotations? Do you think people believe in courting? And dating is a very important question because focus, because do you believe in dating, and then do you believe in having sex while dating? I never dated, and I've said this in previous audios. I never dated, sometimes to my advantage and sometimes to my detriment. To my advantage, I haven't had many partners. Because if you date and maybe 10 people a year and you have sex with 2 or 3 of them out of the year, and you look at that at 5 years, that's a heavy body count, right? And I had an understanding about that early. I wish I had an understanding about other things, but I definitely had an understanding about that. To my detriment, it took me to my late 30s to 40s to understand game. Had I begun dating early, maybe in my 20s and 30s, I would have been exposed to game. It would have helped me to understand a few things, and then by the time I get to my 40s, I'm in a much better emotional and psychological state, right? So it took me that long for me to understand these types of things, and that's why I develop all these audios, and I created the curriculum, so those who struggle with that as well can understand it a lot quicker. Courting is also sort of like a thing that people don't do anymore. You have a few cases where people will say we're not going to have sex until we get married, and then they know in 6 months they're going to get married to the person, so they try to hold out, right? The new trend of dating rotations is a big thing now, and really it's no different than the mistresses that they the harems that you find in the Bible. People just basically having concubines and things like that. So establishing goals and objectives, creating a dating goal as a single create a dating goal as a single individual. Determine how long you want to date if you plan to marry. Assess your potential partner's beliefs about courtship if you plan to marry. Establish short-term, medium range, and long-term dating goals. So is it that you want to date forever, or is it that you're dating to marry, or is it just you just want to date? What kind of frequency, what kind of people? So if you're going to enter the dating market, which is really the mating market, which is bifurcated into the sex and marriage markets, you want to create a dating goal so that you don't find yourself out there just dating just to be dating without a plan. So create a dating purpose statement in the same way that you write a life mission statement. Create a dating purpose statement. This is uncommon, but it could help to focus your efforts. So dating with purpose might include assessing the dating and sex markets without having sex. Dating with purpose might include having a conversation with each date to determine how men think about dating, having sex, and establishing life goals. Dating with purpose might include confirming that dating is not the right time for you, and it just depends on what you're doing. You can't date if you're trying to build a career, because you are so preoccupied with trying to move yourself up that the dating could get in the way of what you're trying to accomplish. So, sample dating purpose statement. If you're new to dating, maybe orientation up to 6 months, right? So you want to assess, engage, determine, confirm. Assess. My purpose for dating is to assess the dating market without having sex with any dating partner. My desire is to take it slow since there is no guarantee of success, meaning I may not find the partner that I'm going to find to be with the rest of my life. So therefore, there's no sense in really committing to dating with using sex. Engage. My purpose for dating is to become familiar with the dating market and participate with soberness and clearness of mind. Refraining from alcohol might be helpful. So it may not be a good idea to use alcohol while you're dating, because then it might lessen your inhibitions and you might find yourself in a situation before your time. Determined. My purpose for dating is not to have sex in the dating market for the first 6 months because I am unsure of who I am and what I want to do with dating. So you're basically going out just, feeling the market, right? Confirm. My purpose for dating is to confirm or disconfirm preconceptions about dating. So whatever I've been told about dating, I need it either confirmed or disconfirmed. Some experience with dating, so more than 6 months, less than a year. So there, reflect, identify, research, and confirm. So reflect. My purpose for dating is to reflect on the dating market, because remember, you've been dating for 6 months now. My participation in it without having sex, and determine if taking was worth the dating process. Identify. My purpose for dating is to identify my dating preferences and choosing based on ethnicity, economic financial status, personality, and career aspirations. This is important because you're not trying to date everybody. You don't necessarily need to be vain, right? But you want to make sure that you target the audience, the types of men that you want to date based on ethnicity, based on economic status. It's important that the person have a job, period, right? Personality, you don't want somebody that is so disagreeable to the point that you can't even get through the date. Career aspirations, you want a person who does have some form of career aspiration, right? Ethnicity might be you want to date outside your race, or you only want to date within your race. Research. My purpose for dating is to continue learning about the dating market to ensure myself that the objective is sound. I will read articles and watch some videos on dating. So this is something that we don't do. This is the opportunities in the SWOT analysis, that the research is that teachable moment, is that learning opportunity, so you understand what really goes on. If you go on YouTube now, you got all types of men with their YouTube channels who bash women, who talk about dating, who talk about all types of negative qualities of dating. That is research right there. That is the information that you need to know, because men read you and they determine how and what way they can take you down. And I'm not saying it from a negative standpoint, but say for instance you didn't want to have sex that night, but somehow you ended up having sex. He didn't rape you or anything like that, but you lowered your inhibitions to the point that you found yourself in bed with the person. Confirm. My purpose for dating is to confirm or disconfirm what I believe about dating. So up to 6 months, you're trying to figure out, have your preconceptions about dating been confirmed, or are you being too hard on yourself when it comes to dating? So sufficient experience with dating. So you've had your year. So select, identify, set, and confirm. So select. My purpose for dating is to choose the dating partners that reflect my economic and financial status, temperament, and career and professional industry. Sex may or may not be necessary. Identify. My purpose for dating is to identify the best environments for dating that do not conflict with my economic and financial status, temperament, and career and professional industry goals. Set. My purpose for dating is to set a timeline for how long I desire to date, with or without purpose, and with the possibility of marriage in mind. Establishing the number of partners is important. And then confirm. My purpose for dating is to continue learning about the dating market, to assure myself that the objective is still sound going into the second year, and to confirm or disconfirm what I believe about dating. And this is important because if sex is on the table and you're at your 1 year, how many times you want to have sex with multiple people? If you set a goal to date with a purpose, you may go on 10 dates, but you're only going to choose two people to sleep with or something like that. That's fine. But how many years you want to do that now, right? So therefore, you have to make sure you are within the right timing and frame of mind, because if you eventually want to marry, you don't want your partner to know that you've had that kind of body count. You want something, that's why it's very important that you don't sleep with your date on the first night, because if that person is to become your partner for marriage, he's going to remember that it was okay to sleep with you and sleep with him, have a one-night stand, because you weren't going to meet each other anymore. But if it turns into something else, to long-term dating leading to marriage, he's still going to remember that, and he's going to judge you more than you judge him. Knowledge check. So for the dating plan, there are 4 areas that are necessary to address while still single, dating, and considering marriage. First area, conversation. What should the conversation be between the date and myself? How many dates are necessary to engage in conversation? To what end is the conversation necessary? And you have to set the limits. If the person is marriage quality, then conversation is much more important here. If the person is only dating quality, and you know that there is no way it's going to convert to anything else, then the conversation may not have to be long. It depends on what your goal is, right? Second area, in terms of deal breaker, what are my deal breakers? So is cheating a deal breaker for you? That's usually the case. Cheating is a deal breaker for me. I'm not sure, because cheating takes a lot of time to plan out. It's not something that you just happens. No, it's something that you visualized in your mind, in your head, and you planned out, and then you found yourself cheating. Now, deal breakers, you have to, this is a dating plan. So if you're just dating somebody and he's dating somebody else too while he's dating you, that cannot be a deal breaker. Unless you come together and say, that we both won't date any other people. And then we're going to be exclusive. And then if he cheats, or if you cheat, then that would be the deal breaker. So third area, sex. Do I want to engage in sex while dating, given there is no guarantee of relationship conversion? What would be the consequences of not having sex during the dating phases? Okay, so the person might leave. If the person is very focused on wanting to have sex while they date you, he or she dates you, he dates you, then it may be hard to change their mind. They may not have sex with you, but be having sex with somebody else. And if they're having sex with somebody else, they might actually fall in love with that person. Then they might just abandon you altogether. So you have to find the type of person who has that kind of mindset, that they're not going to have sex while dating for a certain length of time. And then if you want to be married, you got to have find the kind of person who won't have sex until you actually both get married. Closing out past relationships. So when will it be necessary to close out past relationships? You can't bring in past exes and male friends into a marriage. It doesn't matter what you think. That's a different male energy, and you're supposed to focus on the male energy of your future husband. And so closing out past relationships are very important. You got to know when the time to do that, because it's a chance that you're taking. There's no guarantee that your marriage is going to work out unless you do the work, of course. But there's no guarantee. And if you let go of this friend over here and your marriage does not work out, you may never get that friend again. But you also can't hold on to the friend and hold on to your husband out of that kind of fear. So, conclusions, beliefs about mistakes. So I don't have a full conclusion. I just thought that this right here, this quote from the film Unfaithful, was very important. When I put this presentation together, I thought about it. The movie had just come on HBO, so it was very fresh in my mind. But this is the conversation that Paul Vartan is having with Connie Sumner in Unfaithful. Richard Gere was her husband. And she was talking about mistakes or something like that. And Paul Vartan made a very interesting statement that I did not catch all the times I have watched this film. I did not catch it until now. And it could be because it was for me to catch it now. There is no such thing as a mistake. There is what you do and what you don't do. And it is as simple as that. It is black and white. It is not issues of gray. That there is the thing that you do and then there's the thing that you don't do. And so if Connie did not want to have an affair, then she didn't have to do it. There was nothing that forced her to have an affair. She forced herself. She sought it out. She visualized it. She sought it out. She made the call. She visited him multiple times, and she had an affair. Period. She had already had an affair in her heart, emotionally, even before she got there. But there is no such thing as a mistake. There is what you do and what you don't do, and that's what I want to leave you with. That even if we're not talking about affairs in this pre-singles counseling coaching curriculum orientation, that if you find yourself getting into the dating market and the sex market, and then you get pregnant or something like that, and you didn't intend for that. You say that out loud. I didn't intend for that. I wasn't planning for that. Well, you actually were planning for that, because if you didn't use any protection, right, you were planning for it. But this is something, if you date with purpose, if you date with a goal, as a single individual, this will help you to hedge against that particular issue. If you don't want to have sex that to lead with a baby, then you need to push for the partner to use contraception, or you need to push for yourself to use contraception, or perform a number of strategies like the pull-out game. I don't know. But this is you living a single life with purpose, with a plan, with a goal, so that things like this just don't pop up. And you say, oh, I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. I should have done better. Okay. Because you can't say that all the time. Once the child is here, that's the rest of your life. Once you get with the wrong partner who might introduce you to drugs, that is an addiction that's going to take some time to get over and resolve. Once you get involved with somebody that you finally and fall in love and find out that he's married, that's hard to get out of. You can get out of it, but it's hard to get out of. So that's why it's important to think about being single, understand, date with a person, establish objectives, because if you don't, you're going to find that what you do in your personal life is going to affect your academic and professional lives, especially your professional. You don't want Paul Vartan to come visit you at your job because you waited too long to cut it off, right? So I'm going to leave you with this as you think about your singleness and whether you want to stay single to single, whether you want to begin dating single to dating single, or whether you are interested in marriage, single dating, or dating single to single leading to marriage, right? So that's something that I want you to think about, and I thank you very much for listening to this lecture. All right, so hopefully you were able to gain insight from this video discussion. Please like, subscribe, and visit. So please like the video, hit the notification bell for more discussions. I am re-uploading all of my audios, so I needed to make some changes to them. You can visit my website for more content at reginayfavors.com. If you want to send me an email, you can send an email reginayfavors@yahoo.com. Please also purchase the book. It's going to come out in spring 2021. So I had to make changes to my book to update it, and I also updated the title. So the original title was Bait, Hook, and Switch: Confessions of a Rebound Girl, and I have updated the title to Toxic Encounters: Why People Pursue Rebound Relationships. So right now I'm still basically editing it, and I want to make it available in spring 2021. So thank you very much for visiting my channel, and I am Regina Y. Favors. Have a great day.